As it starts recording, then we'll get started. And it started. Hi, Middle School 318. So I'm just going to just give everybody a heads up of what our virtual open houses have been looking like. We're going to give you a brief introduction about the school, followed by some firsthand experiences from our current students. You'll hear from a couple of our teachers. And then finally, you're going to hear from our alumni. So you get to actually know the entire experience of what it means to go to Williamsburg High School for Architecture and Design, or otherwise known as WHSAD. So a lot of you guys may be wondering, what is WHSAD? Okay, we are a small high school on the north side of Williamsburg. We have approximately 600 students. We're in the Harry Van Arsdale campus. All right, we, unlike the other two schools in the campus, have a specialized curriculum that specializes in architecture, design, and technology. And we expect our students to not only graduate in 4 years, but to also graduate with what's called a career and technical education endorsement, a diploma with that CTE endorsement in architecture. As of now, we're very, very proud of what we've accomplished with our students. That just last year, just this past fall, we received the National Blue Ribbon Award, which is awarded by the Federal Education Department. We are the only high school in New York City to have earned that award, and one of only like 7 or 8 public schools in New York City to have received this national award. So we're very proud that the work that we are doing with our kids and our students are being recognized by, now the federal government. So we're very proud of that. So one different thing about WHSAD, sorry, I didn't mean to call it weird. One unique portion about WHSAD regarding that career and technical education is that most schools only require 3 years of CTE classes. But we at WHSAD don't feel like that's enough. We feel that you need 4 years of that architecture sequence in order to really receive that specialized education. So with that being said, I'd like to introduce my colleague, Mr. D'Amato, and he'll talk to you guys about our 4-year sequence. Hi, Mr. D'Amato.
Hey, everybody. First of all, I want to thank you guys for being here today and the great turnout that we had from 318. So thank you, Ms. Ortiz, for organizing it on 318's end, and thank you all for showing up. As Ms. Basilio said, my name is Giovanni D'Amato. I'm the Assistant Principal of Humanities. I supervise English, Social Studies, ESL, and Spanish, but I work very closely with the CTE program, the architecture program. And like Ms. Basilio said, it's a 4-year program. So for 4 years, you guys are going to be doing hands-on architecture, the computer-aided design programs, and you'll also be learning some other additional programs to help support you as you go on your journey of architecture. But in addition to that, we in the humanities department and math and science, we have all the subjects that you would take in any other high school. So you're going to be getting the regular curriculum. And we also have advanced placement courses in social U.S. history, in science. We give it in living in environmental science. Sorry about that. We also have AP Human Geography, which our juniors take. And we that course, we have it where you're doing the Human Geography curriculum, but you're also doing some work with the School of Visual Arts, and Ms. Wilson will explain that later on. But if you have any specific questions about our sequence, our course sequence, feel free to shoot us an email and check out our website, www.whsad.org, and you can get some more information there. All right, thank you guys.
Thank you, Mr. D'Amato. I actually posted the website on the chat, so you guys can refer to that, at your leisure. Just allow one of our student speakers in. So, how well have we done to deserve that Blue Ribbon Award? Since 2010, we've had a graduation rate of 90% or higher. In fact, since 2017, so for 4 straight years, we've had a 4-year graduation rate of 95% or higher. In fact, last year, and despite of COVID, We've had a graduation rate of 96%. So we were able to retain and, keep tabs of our students, even while we were in remote learning. One little thing about remote learning, parents, when schools were shut down in March, we made a very serious decision, and our teachers all agreed upon that we would offer live instruction. So we have been since March, and now again, now that schools are remote only, have been offering full period live instruction from our teachers so that our kids are receiving, that really important interaction with their teachers in order to do their work. And because of that, we really, we pride ourselves in that graduation rate and being able to maintain that high graduation rate and holding on to our students and making sure that they succeed in June, despite the fact that we were meeting remotely. In fact, despite all of the challenges, 98% of them actually wound up graduating with that CTE, passing that CTE sequence. So not only did they pass all 4 years worth of classes, all 8 classes, but despite the fact that we moved to fully remote learning in March, these students also passed the career and technical education examination Autodesk AutoCAD. So they became licensed users of AutoCAD, despite the fact that we were all meeting remotely. So we're really, really proud of our kids to pass the exams, even though they don't have that one-on-one in-person interaction with a teacher, that it's all virtual. And as far as freshmen are concerned, getting graduation rates that high does start in the 9th grade. 96% of our freshmen earned enough credits in order to be on track for graduation as of last year, which means 96% of our freshmen did not fail a single class, and they all wound up not needing summer school, which is going to be really important when we start talking about all of the opportunities that will be available to you once you go and once summer hits. So I'm going to stop talking. I feel like I talk too much. And I'm going to open the floor up to our students. So I'd like to introduce to you guys our students so you get to see the experience firsthand. I'm going to introduce them in grade order, alphabet and grade order. So first person I'd like to invite is a young lady. She's a sophomore, and her name is Briani Estevez. So Briani, hi.
Hi, I hope you guys can hear me somewhat clearly. I apologize if you hear a dog barking in the background or two. My dog is barking, and the dog I'm dog sitting likes to follow suit, so that's gonna be fun. But so before we get started, this is something that when I went to the open house with Miss Ortiz in person two years ago-ish, that was pointed out to us, and I feel like nobody really makes a bigger point about this. A lot of people are scared about the middle school to high school transition, not just because of the increased difficulty of learning, but also because of what you hear about high school, either online or from friends that may have graduated before you, etc. A lot of people say, "Oh, high school was the worst years of my life. Oh, I should have dropped out of high school, or I dropped out of high school," and stuff like that. And especially in movies where high school is portrayed like the worst place on earth. So I'm just gonna say, we're not like that. More often than not, you'll be making friends with people above your years or below your years. Teachers, we're very relaxed. We do push our students to be, academically challenged and to learn and to work for themselves whenever possible. But we also like to form genuine bonds with our students and make you feel involved, not only with the world around you, but with your fellow peers and your teachers. I feel like that's something very important about the high school experience, not just, having it be easy a lot of the time. It's just genuinely enjoying being in the building or online. That's the majority of what I wanted to say. I feel like I should keep this short.
Thank you so much, Briani. And as you guys know, Briani, as she mentioned, Briani is a 318 graduate, and we're very happy to have her. And she has been volunteering and taking advantage of a lot of the opportunities that we offer at WSAD, and hence why
I
she
do too much work for this school. I'm tired.
much work. All right, Annie. All right. Well, we appreciate it greatly. So the next person I'd like to introduce is also another sophomore. I call him Parker, but his name is David. And Parker,
Yeah.
hi.
All right. So, WorkSite. When I first came, it felt like home. WorkSite isn't so much different between 318, just a little smaller. It's not cramped. It's just like rush hour during in the hallways. But the reason why you should go to WorkSite is because it's almost guaranteed you'll get an internship of some sorts here. Because if you work hard enough and and seek and seek what is that? And seek the information, learning, or the career experience, you'll definitely get something. I last year took took a course of 8 weeks to create shirts, and after that they gave me a paper that I can use for college, which will look great on my resume. So that's one of the that's one, and that's one of the reasons why you should do WorkSite. And another reason is after you graduate from WorkSite, you'll be a professional in AutoCAD. Yes, in AutoCAD, and you can get a job anywhere. You don't need to do any college stuff for that specific thing of AutoCAD.
Thanks, David. You okay? I think you're having like some internet issues because you're going in and out there. Okay, so the next student is also another sophomore. His name is Matthew. So hi, sophomore Matthew. Are you in line? It's okay, David. I
Hi,
understand.
I'm here. Hello. So I'm Matthew, and I'm gonna quickly talk about the opportunities in this school, mostly focusing on one called the ACE Mentorship Program. So I took this program last year, and I wanted to take advantage of it because I thought it was a really great learning opportunity for just overall becoming a better person and becoming a better student and trying to find interests in what I would like to do in the future. And the opportunity that this school gave me was one of the best things that I could have done because the ACE mentorship program really allowed me to make some great connections with amazing people like friends and mentors in the program. And I got to learn a lot. Like just seeing how real professionals work. I was working with a group called WPS that's based in Canada, but they also have an office actually near Penn Station. So I got to go there once a week, and it was just an amazing program. It was an amazing opportunity, and the school offers many more like these. They're great opportunities, and that's only one of the reasons that I love going to this school.
Thank you so much, Matthew. And finally, I'm just going to move on to there she is. The junior year, we have a young lady named Mahalia who would like to talk to you about her experiences, including one with a project we had with a township in New Jersey. Hi, Mahalia.
Hi everyone. So, unfortunately, my camera isn't working, so all you're gonna hear is my voice. So first up, I want to talk about the Lake Como project. In this community project, I collaborated with other students to renovate around a lake in Lake Como, New Jersey. Basically, this project was about fixing up the lake and having it become an attraction for the residents or tourists of Lake Como because it became toxic after Hurricane Sandy. The Jersey Shore is right next to Lake Como, and it's often overlooked. So we wanted to design something that sort of brightens up all the attributes it already possesses to attract more people. So we do this by adding new plants and creating areas where wildlife can flourish, as well as creating a fun but also sustainable environment. Next, I have the Architecture Club. So in this club, I've been in it since freshman year. And basically what it does is it takes students who are interested in the background of architecture and design or just art overall and furthers your knowledge around that topic while also being involved with many projects and taking a lot of field trips. So in this club, that's where I was introduced to the Lake Como project and have been working on it ever since. Next is the newspaper club. In this club, it takes students and exposes them to the world of journaling. I think this club especially helps students who kind of like struggle talking in front of a crowd or something. You know, I think it helps students by improving their skills in leadership and speaking skills, which will help them in classes or jobs. A few articles that I did but as a part of being a part of the newspaper club is I did an article on some of the WHSAD teachers where I conducted an interview and asked them about a few personal facts. I did a Holocaust survivor Jewish heritage story and a story on Lake Como. So that's all I have to say about WHSAD. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mahalia. And again, she was one of the project managers of co-project managers, right, of the Lake Como initiative, and we're very proud of the work that she did. And the website actually has, several articles of that whole process from the start up until the team made their recommendations and their floor plans. So, their planning. So, thank you so much, Mahalia. And then we'll move on to our seniors. We have two seniors in the room. The first senior I'd like to introduce is a young man named Yufeng. Hi, Yufeng.
Hello, yeah, I'm Yufeng. Yeah, also came from IS318 or MS318. It's not called, yeah. So, Wasabi been like a very special place to me. At first, I was like really shy, like wasn't really outgoing, but after these years at Wasad actually changed me a lot. I'm like more outgoing now. I'm like more down to do a lot of projects. Also, it may seem tough in high school, but you'll get used to it. Also, these teachers will always give you opportunities. Always take them. They will make you look like be greater and help you in the future. Um, like there's also other opportunities in like other companies like Ace, as it was brought up before. It gives you like a lot of experience. It was for my Ace program, it was like every Wednesday after school for 2 hours in Manhattan. It was really fun. We learned about like many things. But I hope you like this place.
And one thing about Yufeng, are you part of the Work, Learn, Grow program?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll talk about the Work, Learn, Grow program, and he is part of that. And we're going to have a very, very extensive conversation about our work-based learning program with our coordinator. But, one thing that does make this school different is that we stress the importance of being able to work while you're in school. So a lot of the students that you've heard either have had some kind of internship experience even while they were freshmen all the way up to when they're seniors. And so before they even graduate high school, they already have a resume that they can use in order to look for jobs. So it's really important that we give our kids the opportunity to learn what it's like to have a job and to hold that job and to learn all of those very important skills that you only learn by showing up to work every single day, not just a school setting. And that's really what makes you really successful once you start moving on to a career. In fact, since summer of 2019, we've offered over 250 summer internships. Now, we have a partner in our local organization. I think you may have heard of them. They're called the St. Nick's Alliance. They're based out of Williamsburg as well. And they have their own summer youth employment program based on our school just for our students. So instead of applying for the lottery, our students apply through us. And we have two requirements. One, you be the first set of students to apply for that job, and two, you don't have to go to summer school, so you pass all of your classes. So we're not limiting those opportunities just for the best of the best or the honor roll students. We offer these opportunities to anybody who wants them and anybody who is willing to work for them, such as pass all of their classes. Now, with the COVID situation the way it was over the summer, you may have heard that they canceled all of summer youth program. But we had a lot of students and parents and partners who were adamant that we restore this program, and they were able to open up 50 slots for our students over the summer. It's not the 200 that we're used to. The 50 slots at time of remote learning to offer remote internship for our students is actually something that we're really, really proud of. Just about a week and a half ago, we invited 45 of our students to participate in something called Work, Learn, Grow. Yufeng from 318 is one of those 45 students. They are providing our juniors and seniors not only 2 CUNY course credits between, when they started that class a week and a half ago until the end of December. But at the end of December, if they pass that CUNY class, they get 200 paid internship hours in the spring. So they go to school, then they have work. And because of COVID, that work might either be in person, blended, or both based out of a student's discretion. And those 200 hours are paid at a $15 per hour rate. So again, we are very, very proud of having a group of kids who are able to hold these jobs and go to school and juggle all of those things at the same time. It builds a specific type of character that we really value here at WHSAD. If you don't have that character, we feel like we're doing you a disservice, because then you'll be going into college not having those work skills. So I'd like to introduce one more current student. His name is Matthew Luciano. There's a picture of him at one of the high school fairs, and he's going to talk to you mainly about his work-based learning program. Hi, Matthew.
Hi, everybody. Sorry I can't show my face. My camera isn't working at the moment. But yeah, it's like Yufeng. I was also a part of the ACE program. I was with him for Team 6, and we've been in the program for about 4 years now. And the good thing about being a part of that program is that as they see that you're constantly there every year, when you get to your senior year, they offer you scholarships for colleges, and even sometimes they offer people internships. Like there was a kid, he's a senior now, his name is Ethan. I believe they offered him an internship for the summertime, a paid internship. And a lot of these other internships are also paid, but that's the good thing about WHSAD. We want kids to progress so that when they hit their senior year and go into college, we want them prepared to go into the work life. So like me, and also when I started off as a freshman, I was a part of before my freshman year started, they had just offered a program called the Summer Bridge program. So I was one of the incoming freshmen in that program, and that's how I got to meet some of the seniors, my friends, the seniors that I know now, and the teachers, especially Mr. Kodio, because he's the main teacher of that program. So Kodio saw me progress, and the good thing about being a part of that program is that the teachers, like Mr. Kodio, they see you progress. So as you progress, they know that you have the ability to do more with yourself. So from there, going into my sophomore year, Kodio and Mr. Rodriguez, the freshman architect teacher, they offered me a job in the summertime to teach the Summer Bridge program. So I was actually a mentor teaching those incoming freshmen, which is the class of 2022 now. And from that, kids, that's just the thing, that kids sometimes they get nervous. So this program is just for the kids to get to know upperclassmen and not feel so like wound up on as their freshman year starts. So then with the progression part, Cody saw me progress and he saw my abilities. So then that's when, going into my junior year in the summertime, he offered me a desk job. So that was I worked in an architecture company called Heritage Equity Partners, which was like 5 blocks from the school. It was a small place, but they have a lot of connections. So that was actually my first desk job as a income going into my junior year, which I had a good experience. I got to learn the office, like how to deal in the office setting. And then now I'm not really doing anything other than the architecture club with Mr. Kodio, which is the club that we do after school, and we get to work on multiple projects, such as, I believe Mahalia was talking about the something harbor. So we do little outside projects with the school. And yeah, that's that. Miss Wilson is going to talk about the rest. So I would like to introduce Miss Wilson.
Great. Thank you, Matthew. If y'all just give me a minute, I will put up my presentation here. All right, so work-based learning covers a lot of different activities at WHSAD. It is one of the required components of the architecture program, of the CTE program, I should say. Work-based learning encompasses a lot of different things, but really the goal of it is to help students recognize different career paths and different career options, so that when they're ready to leave WHSAD and go either into the workforce or into college, they're prepared for what they're going to be studying. And I know it's a little scary to think of that when you're only in 8th grade. You're like, what are you already talking about college? But I think we all know that time flies sometimes and you're going to be there before you know it. And we want to make sure that you are ready to make those choices. Right now, presumably you have an interest in architecture, why you're here, but you might discover that you're really interested in engineering or construction management or historic preservation or graphic design or other things. We want to make sure that you are ready to pursue those things. The point of work-based learning is to get you face-to-face with professionals who are already in the field to learn about their careers and about their college and career paths. Additionally, this was alluded to earlier, there's a lot of other things that go along with working, which are things like writing resumes, having job interviews, working in a professional environment, understanding what's expected in an office environment versus maybe a construction site, and all of those skills that are important regardless of where you're going to end up. And then the last thing, which is really important to me, especially as I'm a math teacher, is drawing connections. Drawing connections between what's happening in the classroom and what's happening in the quote unquote the real world. A lot of times students struggle to understand why what they're learning in school is important or matters, and we want to make sure that they see that what they're learning in class has applications when they get into the workplace. So I'm going to highlight a few of our activities. I don't have time to talk about all of them. We'd be here till January, but I want to highlight a few that are very unique to WHSAD and give students some really great experience. I'm going to open with our design challenges. This is, excuse me, a very broad term for opportunities that students have to work on a specific project and get ongoing mentoring and critique from professionals. On the right, we have the first year of our program with the School of Visual Arts that Mr. D'Amato alluded to earlier. The first year we offered it, it was an after-school program where students learned about product design and marketing and branding and how do you come up with a product or an app or a program or a system that meets a need, that fits a need, something is missing, and that you can help people fill that, with your design. It started as an after-school project. The students were mentored by these professionals from the School of Visual Arts. They got to go to visit places like the Museum of Modern Art. They got to go to the Kickstarter offices. They had other speakers come in to talk to them. And then at the end, they presented their proposals. After that first year, we took the program, we integrated it into the AP Human Geography course, where the students are using what they're learning in human geography to learn about how do you identify these gaps, these holes, these places where you might be able to fill a need. Both of the photos on the left are from our projects that we do every year with the Department of Buildings. We do projects in February every year related to Black History Month. Done projects about Black architects in Manhattan and in New York City. This project on the top that Melina is working on was about the historic jazz clubs of New York. The students got to meet some of the owners and performers and learn about that part of New York history. And again, the students are constantly being given feedback and critique from professionals who are helping them develop their ideas. ACE Mentorship, you've heard a little bit about before. This is a wonderful program for students to get started with right away in 9th grade. It's what I say, you get a lot of bang for your buck. It's one afternoon a week for 2 hours from late October through May. And you get to work on a team with students from WHSAD, but students from other schools as well. And you get to design and solve some sort of architectural design problem. ACE stands for Architecture, Construction, and Engineering. So your lead team is one firm, but they work with other firms coming together to help students learn about all these different possibilities. This project here is one from a few years ago, specifically about natural disasters and designing modular housing that could be built quickly after a disaster. This one was specifically for an area in South America that's prone to mudslides. So there's also an element of community, working with a community and what would be beneficial to people in this type of experience. As Matthew mentioned a little bit ago, they do offer college scholarships for students who have participated all 4 years. We've had a number of WHSAD students who've won those over the years, and they have recently launched an internship program specifically for the summer. It sounds like maybe they've expanded it to high school students, but they definitely have it for the college students. If you participate in ACE in high school and you come back from college in the summer, you can work with them and with their firms. Our site visits, these are the WHSAD version of a field trip, and it's a little different than most field trips are, because when we go to these sites, we're visiting with the people who are actually working there, who are maybe preserving it or restoring it or building it. They're very sort of behind the scenes visits. On the top left, you can see our visit a few years ago to the historic TWA terminal at JFK Airport. This was right before it closed down entirely for it to be converted into the hotel that opened last year. The gentleman who met with us that day was at the time, the vice president of the Port Authority in charge of the project. And he spoke not only about the design challenges of doing the project, in the middle of one of the busiest airports in the world. He also talked about his own career path and how he got there. On the right, top right, is our visit to St. Patrick's Cathedral a few years ago, which also involved a big restoration and preservation of the project. The gentleman in the orange was the lead engineer, spoke to the students about the work that they were doing on the historic cathedral. And the two photos on the bottom are both from the summer program, visiting on the left at a model building workshop that's part of one of the architecture firms that the students got to visit. Architecture encompasses a lot of different things. It's not just building buildings. In this case, it's about model building. It might also be about interior design. It could be about different other 3D modeling online. We want to make sure the students get to experience all of that. And on the left, we have a visit to a green roof, also in Manhattan, a big emphasis on sustainability and what that looks like moving forward. New York City has passed new regulations for existing buildings, and we have had some students working on projects also with the Department of Buildings about that topic. Workplace exploration, these are when we partner with specific organizations and companies for students to do after-school projects. This is Architectural Grill. It is a manufacturing company in Gowanus. They manufacture metal grills, the kind of things that go over your HVAC vents. We've been with them a number of years. The students get to learn the entire process from design all the way through fabrication and finishing. The designs are done in AutoCAD or other graphics programs the students get to use. They get to create their own designs. They get to research styles and histories and then create them. We've had students who've done internships there. And we actually had a student a few years ago who was offered a job after graduation, and he worked there for several years while he went to college, working on his associate's degree. He worked with them. Makeville is a woodworking studio. Students get to go after school and work with different tools, both power tools and hand tools, to learn about different projects they can do in wood. In this case, it was one that was both wood and electrical because they got to do wiring of their own lamps. We also have partnership with a screen printing company in Greenpoint, where the students get to go and learn about the graphics of screen printing. We were supposed to start last year a project with a ceramic studio that unfortunately got put on hold when we switched to remote learning. We're hoping that we'll be able to launch that sometime in 2021. Again, let students experience different materials and different workshops. And then I'm going to end a little bit with internships. You've heard already about some of our internship programs. I want to highlight some of our partners that offer internships. This is the first summer in 11 years that we have not had interns at Greenwood Cemetery. They're one of our original partners. And a lot of people sometimes go, cemetery, but what's that about? Well, the students get to learn about material science and the different materials that go into making the monuments, and then how are they preserved and restored. They get to do physics because these things are really heavy, and they build these pulley systems to lift them up. We've had students who've worked in the historical records office, as you can see Andrew's doing here on the left, where they're learning about the history of the place. They maybe are dealing with documents or old photographs, but a really place rich in history that offers students a lot of opportunity in a lot of different ways, especially for those who are really interested in the more hands-on experience. A great one. A few others I want to highlight here on the bottom left. This is Jonathan, who interned at Silman, which is an engineering firm in Manhattan. He did some work in their marketing department, got to visit with project teams and learn about sort of some project management aspects of the structural engineering parts of projects. On the top left, we have Joseph, who worked at Brooklyn Borough Hall in their Office of Topography. All the borough offices in Manhattan have topography offices where they maintain the maps of the borough. So anytime there's a change in a building, the maps have to be updated. And as certainly you see in Brooklyn, we have a lot of change going on. So there's a lot of work. I call it the never-ending internship. On the right, we had some students a few years ago at a place called Portside, which is in Red Hook. It's a decommissioned oil tanker being converted into a floating maritime history museum. The students worked both on the history component and on the restoration component. A few other things I want to mention just because they are available to our students. Construction Skills is a pre-apprenticeship program for students who are interested in entering the building trades. So electricians, carpenters, plumbers, painters, iron workers, anything like that. They do that in their senior year. They get what's called direct entry, which allows them to bypass the lottery system to join the union. The Pratt Young Scholars is a portfolio development program through Pratt Institute for students interested in going to college specifically in a portfolio-based field, something in art or design. They apply at the end of 9th grade. It's a 3-year program that helps them work their portfolio development in those types of projects. CTEISP is another internship program through the Department of Education. We've had some of our interns there, some of them at Department of Buildings and some of our other sites. Ms. Basilia already spoke about SYP and St. Nick's Alliance. And then I want to touch briefly on community service, especially for students who aren't ready to go into the workforce just yet. We have a lot of community service activities to help connect students to Brooklyn, to Williamsburg, to the larger community of New York City. And it's a great way for students to participate in some other opportunities that pique their interest. And the fact is, this list goes on and it grows every year. So if there's something students are interested in, we definitely try to make sure that we can match them up with an opportunity that fits their interests. I will sign off from now. If you have questions, feel free to put them in the chat and I can answer them as the presentation continues.
Thank you, Ms. Wilson. And in the meantime, does anybody have any questions outside of the chat? And thank you, our former and current students, for answering many of these questions as they pop up. They're doing it independently, so really appreciate it. Okay, so the next person we're going to introduce is someone that if you enroll in WSAD, you'll be very, very familiar with. He is our senior architecture teacher, Mr. Codio. Hi, Mr. Codio.
Hi, Ms. Basilio. Are you able to hear me?
I can hear you.
Awesome. Hi, everybody. Good evening. I'm going to keep it short because I actually have four grads, one that's actually currently in grad school as well. So I'm going to keep my presentation very short just to talk about first of all, I'm Mr. Cordio, the senior architect teacher. I work alongside various other teachers to help build up the different programs, especially in the field of architecture and design. I work from the bridge program all the way to the senior classes and work with them with the architectural projects and develop their interpersonal skills, presentation skill sets, and so forth. So without further ado, I'm just going to present my screen. Let me know if you're able to see it. Okay.
We can see it just fine. Thank you.
Awesome. So I'm going to be brief with you because I have actually four students that really want to talk about their experience at WSAD and how WSAD has helped them and guide them along the way. So without further ado, Wilson mentioned to you all the projects that we worked on. In this presentation, I'm going to talk about the technology, the architecture classes, and the type of designs that students are able to work on from the beginning of their freshman year all the way till the end of their once they graduate WSAD. So to start off with the presentation, a lot of people asked about that question about the programs we offered in the chat. So mainly we use AutoCAD for the certification exam, but from freshman year, actually from the Bridge program, which I recommend any incoming freshman that's going to come to WSAD to be part of, due to the fact that they get exposure to not only AutoCAD, Rhino, 3D Max, Maya, Revit, Fusion 360, and the whole entire Adobe Suite Plus. One of the greatest advantages that our school have is that if a student needs a program, we will research it and basically purchase that program for them to learn. And that's one of the greatest things. They could actually create their own club, and we have the faculty enough to help them and guide them with those type of programs. If we don't, I have no choice but to learn along with some other teachers just to better help the future, because at the end of the day, we want to make sure that they're ready once they leave WSAD. And one of the key aspects I want to emphasize, these are just tools to help them with the design creativity. It's just one way to have an advantage in college as well as in the world of work. So here are the machines that we have. So we have all industry standard machine. So if you go to any architectural firm, design company, you'll be able to see some of these machines right here. Or you might not be able to see them due to the fact that because how expensive they are. But for us, we want to make sure that the students have an edge, have a platform already established for them prior for them to graduate in high school. So on the left, we have the Stratus Tower 3D printing machine, followed by the HP plotter, which architects and designers plot out their huge scale drawings. So it's actually called a plotter, not a printer. So these are where you can actually see them print out the floor plans elevation. Then you have the MakerBot Replicator, it's another smaller version of the 3D printer, and as well as other versions of 3D printed machines. And one of the key things we have Promethean boards. One of the key things we focus on is presentation, and how you articulate, how you present yourself in front of others. So a lot of the students get those type of skill sets from the Bridge program all the way to they graduate from high school. Okay. So here's some of the designs that the students have created. So Wilson has showed you a few of them. So once again, the machine is just a tool. It's their design creativity that brings everything out and expose them. So these are one of the projects every year we have with Department of Buildings, Black History Month, or even projects with developers and designers. So this is one of the designs that the students created to celebrate Jazz Festival in their own way. So besides creating different 3D models, they work with other machines as well as Architecture Grill, one of our industry partners, to make this happen. So once again, one of the greatest things is our industry partners are able to actually help us whenever we need them for the students to actually go there and say, I need to build this. We cannot do it, but they can. So that's one of the greatest advantage as well. And this is, these machines is easy accessible to them anytime they want. So this also the laser engraver. This is another Black History project where students design very architectural buildings and as well as laser engrave different individuals in history that made a difference in New York City architecture. And as you can see, we always want to put the students in the forefront to make sure that they are articulate enough to be able to present what they're working on, the design skills to help them further. Once again, check out WHSAD.org. Like Ms. Wilson said, I could go on for a year or 2 or 3 years. And everybody knows Mr. Cody, he talks too much. So I'm going to slow down. Now we have our classes. One of the key things you have to understand about architecture classes is not only inside WHSAD. It's we go to the architectural firm, we go to the site visits. We actually work with the community to build, this was one of the projects on the bottom left, to build literacy amongst throughout the whole Brooklyn North District. So the New York NYPD, along with WHSAD and the administrative of our school, were able to actually come together as well to help in this project. On the top left, we had the whole entire school. Some of the projects, if it impact more than our school, we invite other schools to work alongside with us. And this is a great advantage. They get to learn about the architectural design components that they might not have at their school. So of course, and one of the things that a parent mentioned, or I don't know who mentioned in the chat, our design not only is created through just technology alone, it's through our mind as well. So this was one of the Broadway plays that we went to, but they gave us a project to do a mural for them. And that's one of the best things, one of the best opportunities that we got to be a part of, as well as the administrative at the bottom were able to actually take part in. And that's one of the key aspects. So not only we deal with the architectural components, the design varies. So without further ado, I'm gonna leave it at that. I have 4 phenomenal graduates. The first one is going to be Jared Jackson, followed by Melina Jorge, Daryl Paulino, and Ramon Williams. Okay, Jared.
Yep. Thank you, Kodio. So as Kodio said, my name is Jared Jackson, and I am currently an alumni of WHSAD, and I go to a school upstate called Hartwick College. And so I was a student here at WHSAD about 2 years ago, because that's when I graduated. And first off, I'll say that everything that everybody had said, I see the progression and growth in all of the programs. I know that a lot of people mentioned some of the projects that my class was working on, and it's a blessing to see that it's still being worked on, and that everybody is still enjoying the process and everything like that. So a couple of the internships that I worked on were also mentioned in here, with the Greenwood Cemetery and working on Portside. And just through the internships alone, I'm not even talking about the school and classroom setting, even though that impacted my social skills a lot as well. Just taking into account that you do get to work with a lot of nice people and people who are very knowledgeable, you can build your skill set and everything like that. And that's really nice to have on your resume, as people said as well. And for the classroom setting, I didn't even know that they had their teachers still doing live lessons as well for the students, which is very, it's just very, courageous of the teachers as well. And I'm glad to see that, WHSAD is getting awards. The students are at 95 above a graduation level for the seniors and everything like that. And as far as like all of the other programs, I did the Word Workshop, and that's progressing as well. And it's just nice to see that WHSAD is currently breaking boundaries and not just staying at the same level. And like Kodio said, they're bringing in other schools and still teaching them things that they may not know. And that's just, something that's really cool to see. So yeah.
Thank you, Jared. Melina?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Hi guys, I'm Elena, and I just want to talk about my experience at WASAD, like for myself. And I want to first start off with one of the things that Mr. Kessner said in the chat. He was talking about a student who had just graduated and how he's studying pre-med now. And I want you guys to understand this now, that even though this school is for architecture and design, they don't stop you from finding your real passions, or they don't try to hinder you from doing anything you don't want to do. Like even in architecture and design, I was a part of architecture clubs, and I was working closely with Mr. Codio all the time. But I was also doing other things. I was a part of the newspaper in the school. I also did the announcements in the school, and then I turned it into a blog. I worked with when I graduated, I worked with the jazz club, and Mr. Codio taught me a lot, so much in my last year. But even as Ms. Basilio was saying in the beginning, how every year you're learning something new, all those things that you're learning every single year is being implemented into the last year. So it's not like you're learning things and you're never going to use them again. You can't forget it because you're always using it and you're constantly using it. And because of that, it always made me want to have some form of art in my life, and always made me want to keep those things close to me. And the internships Miss Wilson was talking about as well. I did an internship with Park Avenue Armory in the summer of 2018, and I still work for them till this day. And they work really closely with art, and unconventional art, and making sure your voice is heard. And even now in college, I'm doing a double major in media and studio art. And I feel like if it weren't for WASAD, and it weren't for the internships that I've gotten, and all the experience that I've been able to be a part of, and all these projects that I've been able to contribute to, then it wouldn't have been possible for me. So I feel like WASAD is a really good starting point. And like everybody was saying before, take advantages of all the opportunities you have now, because you never know how they're going to benefit you in the future.
Thank you very much, Melina. Now we'll have Dario Paulino, the Department of Building individual that will give you a citation or stop you from building your project, which he loves doing while he was at WASAD.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dario Paulino. I'm currently attending the university at Buffalo, which is a big step up from going from WSAD to this big university where there's 30,000 students. And it the impact that WSAD had on me was just amazing. Being able to go from almost being shy of presenting my work to being able to speak out and share with people what's on my mind. Really, you have these passionate teachers that really want to let the potential out of all these students and kind of give you the opportunity to do whatever you want. Every creativity that you have in your mind, really let it out and kind of create your own world. It's just amazing what was there when I was attending and what it has become now. It's just amazing to see everything growing even bigger than what it is. Um, Going off of what Kodio said, I did work in the Department of Buildings. I was an intern there um, my for the spring of 2019, which was an amazing internship. I just met so many people from engineers to architecture, um, grads, people that were some of them were getting their license, some of them already had their license. Um, it was just amazing to see all these different people coming together and kind of being a department and seeing what happens behind of every little key that happens on the other side of the architect, and being able to now bring that knowledge that I know into my architecture career, and kind of being able to fuse both of them together and kind of become a better person. Till this day, they still reach out to me for internships and jobs. And these jobs don't limit in architecture. They, as I said, they're engineers, they're architects. They also have many jobs in different types of field, that be project managing, welding. They just expand in all areas that you really can go into and kind of be who you want to be, and kind of let that potential that you have out. Thank you.
Thank you, Dario, so much. Now we'll have Ramon William to end it up with the seniors. He's actually in class right now, so I thank you, Ramon, for this opportunity.
Not a problem, not a problem. It's good to see everyone. My name is Ramon Williams. Graduated a few years ago, 2014, the best year. I went to Franklin and Marshall College, and I graduated 2018. And I'm in graduate school right now at Carnegie Mellon, studying mechanical engineering and product design. And I think it's just a testimony of everything that WSAD is, being able to have this experience to just bring more students to the school and them reaching out to me. And I'm always here to give back to the school, because one of the things that WSAD is truly about is community. It's about building individuals, building their characters, building their skills, building well-rounded people to go out into these fields and truly make a difference and make a change. So it's amazing to see some of the programs that started when I was in high school, seeing it start and just evolve, and being a part of those programs was honestly the foundation of why I'm here today, why I was able to do so many things. Having that community at WSAD to always support you and just strive for greatness. And some of the programs that I'll kind of touch on is one is Skills USA. Skills USA was actually a club at WSAD, and it allowed me the chance to actually compete nationally doing architectural drafting. And although I didn't end up in architecture, the drive that it built for me, the things that it showed me about myself, that I could be whoever I wanted to be. I can compete on any level, and the school was preparing me to be one of the best. So that was just an amazing experience. Skills USA always has a place in my heart. Upward Bound. Upward Bound was a program that I started in 10th grade, and they was actually the program that nominated me for a scholarship, the Posse Foundation scholarship, to go to Franklin and Marshall. And that allowed me to enter undergraduate school with a full tuition scholarship. So they're thinking about so many things with these programs. They're building you up, they're giving you the skills, and they're opening up doors for you. Even the community-based projects. I remember working with Greenwood Cemetery and around the campus, doing these things for the community and giving back. And it's been a part of my life ever since, just seeing the value of paying it forward, seeing the value of how helping one individual can continue to help others. So I would have to say that WSAD was just one of the best decisions that I've made, from the programs that I've learned, from the AutoCAD certification that they've talked about. I still use that to this day. Although the program might be a little bit different, I use Fusion 360. It still has the same building blocks. Now, anytime I'm learning one of these computer-aided design programs, it's like it comes so naturally. And that's because they built such a solid foundation in teaching their students on how to dissect these programs and truly learn it inside and out. And right now I'm working on a project that's actually with NASA. And it's these experiences that WSAD has given me that has allowed me these opportunities. So I just want to say thank you, and yeah, come to WSAD.
Thank you, Ramon. Basilio?
Yeah, thank you so much, staff, students, and alumni, for taking the time, and thank you, Middle School 318, for taking the time to be here. The last person that I'm going to introduce is Ms. Chu, our parent coordinator, and she has a little bit more to say about the application process. Hi, Ms. Chu.
Hi, thank you, Ms. Basilio. Before anything else, I want to thank all the parents and all the students and Ms. Ortiz for joining us in this virtual open house. Even though we are facing the pandemic at this point, for us, presenting our school to incoming freshmen and parents is very important. I hope that the presentation is providing you some pointers when you start researching the high school selection process. It's going to be challenging, especially with the pandemic and everything else. But, once you start the process, if you have any questions that we did not address during the meeting, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm always available. I'm going to put on my contact information on the chat room. And if there's any Spanish-speaking parents who also need some clarification or have a couple questions that they need some clarification in Spanish, I'm also available. But once again, thank you for joining us, and I'm looking forward to meeting all of you come next year. Thank you.
And yeah, thank you, Ms. Shu. One little thing about admissions process. We've hinted it all along. Okay, we are a completely unscreened program. This means this. We base our interests, base our 150 spots. The system matches us based out of students' interest, which is really the theme for our school. We don't look at your report cards, we don't look at your attendance. What we really look at is how much you want to be here, how much are you willing to rank us number one in your priority list, because we feel that if you want to be here, you will show up to school or remote learning at this point every single day and take advantage of the opportunities that are provided for you. And we believe that no matter where you come from, academically, wherever, we will do great things with you. We have the staff and the students who can mentor you, who will make you do well. And, we have been an unscreened program for quite a while now, and we've had this graduation rate to boast about. So thank you for coming. And again, Ms. Ortiz understands this whole application process and the unscreened process. We had some students, who did rank us pretty high up there who still didn't get in. Because again, we've had about only 150 seats and over 1,000 applicants, but we really do base our admissions process very blindly. The system matches us based on whomever ranks us the highest. Okay. Ms. Ortiz, do you have anything? Any questions?
I don't have any questions. I just have to say I'm so blown away. I seriously have tears in my eyes. I sound like such a drama queen. But first of all, when I see the kids in high schools, when I was able to go visit the high schools, I'm like, are you kidding me? This is the same kid that drove me crazy. That growth, the maturity, the articulation, the way these young people are expressing themselves. I'm saying that's the same kid that was in my, my 8th grade class. You guys, as one of your students said, I have seen you grow. I know I've visited you many times, and I'm still always blown away with what you offer and how you guys are so invested in the kids in the community. And I wish that all my parents, my 498 parents, I wish they were all on this today because they needed to hear this. I'm sick and tired of, of hearing about Stuyvesant, and I'm just going to say it, and Brooklyn Tech, and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. I'm sick of it. We have this fantastic school in the neighborhood that is this jewel, and they need to open up their eyes and pay more attention. Your kids are fabulous, everything that you do. And I can't wait until I visit you guys again. I hope I can in person. Wonderful, wonderful presentation.
Thank you so much, Ms. Ortiz. It's always a pleasure to working with you.
Thank you for doing this for us. And, I want you to do it again, but I know I'll behave. Thank you once again. Okay.
And everybody we'll have the video. We'll have the video available in case you have some students and alumni, students and parents who are interested.
Oh, okay. That's perfect. And I will contact you or Ms. Chu or someone, right?
Yes.
Okay.
We'll have it available by then. All right.
Thank you so much, everyone.
We will happily stick around if you guys have any additional questions. But otherwise, thank you so much for coming this evening, and we look forward to seeing you in September.
Yeah.
Bye now.
Bye. Wow.
Bye-bye.
Melina,
thank you. Jared, thank you. Dario,
everybody.
Thank you, Briani. Thank you, Yufeng. Oh, you left already.
Matthew.
Thank you. The David left already. Always great to hear from alumni. You keep surprising me with the kids. I keep on being really happy whenever I see someone here.
I know.
I'm gonna miss them. All right.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Have a good one, Matthew. Both Matthews.
It was a pleasure serving tonight.
This is it. All right. I'll press stop recording. Have a good evening.